Hello, and welcome to the session about Kentico Voice Interface, or as we all call it, Kevin. My name is Dmitry Kuzmin. I'm Microsoft certified developer. I work as a developer at Kentico, and also I'm an author of Kevin. So you can be sure that anything you hear today is a first-hand information. Today's session consists of 4 parts. In the first part, I will briefly explain how voice assistant process user speech and how they generate the response. In the second part, I will introduce you to the Kevin. This part will be demo-driven, and together we will be creating our own voice commands, and also we will test them. Also, I almost forgot to introduce my co-speaker, Alexa. Alexa, ask Kentico admin to say hello.
Hello, Connections. How are you?
Great, thank you. So this is Alexa. We will be demoing mostly in Alexa. And after the demo session, I will describe how Kevin works behind the scene. And in the end, I will share with you some information regarding the release of Kevin. That's all. So let's get started. First, let's take a look at how the voice assistants work. And here's an example I have just showed you. I've asked Alexa to say hello from the Kentico admin app. You might think that everything occurs on the smart speaker device, but that's not actually true because most of the magic is done behind the scenes. So, what is worth mentioning is that the smart speaker constantly listens to the surrounding, and many users are afraid of some privacy concerns. They're afraid that smart speakers send their data to Amazon server and sell them. But that's not really true because smart speaker is made as a simple device. It is configured to just listen to specific words, so-called wake words. These are, for example, Alexa, computer, or Hey Google if we are talking about Google Home. And after it hears the wake word, it starts streaming. It streams everything to the cloud. And after that, the cloud servers that are built on top of artificial intelligence and machine learning models, it's converting speech to text and recognizes what user wants to do. In our case, the cloud server recognizes that we want to invoke Kentico admin skill, so it passes the user's request to that custom skill. One more note that there is a different naming in Amazon and in Google. So what we call a custom skill in Alexa is actually a voice application in Google. So our custom skill, in our case, Kentico admin, I will not describe it too much into detail. So it just calls different APIs on the experience to simply process the request and generate the response. It returns the response text back to the Alexa or Google Cloud server, and then Cloud server converts text to audio, and then it sends audio back to the smart speaker. And the smart speaker then plays the result to the user. Everything is not too complex, but there are a lot of different steps in voice processing. So, what is Kevin? I can describe Kevin as a framework for creating voice commands in Kentico experience. It was created for voice commands for administrators or editors, which means that you should manage administration interface, manage objects, retrieve data that should be visible to administrators. Kevin is built on top of Amazon's and Google artificial intelligence for speech recognition, and it also means that Kevin is compatible with any device that has Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant. It means that you can have Kevin on your smartwatch, smart speaker, smartphone, or on your vehicle. On the right screen, we can see a new application that appears in the development category. So I have prepared multiple demos of working with Kevin, and today we will create multiple different voice commands, such as Alexa, ask Kentico admin what is my username, ask Kentico admin to create a user, what is the last error, to write a post on Twitter, and in the end I will show you the localization scenarios. So let's switch to the demo. The first voice command is what is my username. So if we go to the application list, we can see voice interface. I have it on my dashboard for quick access. We can go into it. I have prepared there are two voice commands out of the box for the demo purposes. One is say hello, which you have already heard, and one is for localization, which is the last scenario. Creating voice command is as simple as it could be. You just click on create new command. Input command is what user requests to do. In our case, the user asks what is my username. As you can see, I am logged in as a global administrator, so sure I could write an output speech. Your name is administrator, but we know that many users will use Kevin, so this is not a correct way to do it. We need to dynamically retrieve the username of current user, and what helps is the Kentico macro expressions. So we can just open the macro expression and write current user username. We can save it, go back. It is created, and we can now test this voice command. I will test it from now and further in the Alexa simulator because it provides the same response as the original Alexa device, but it visualizes the request and response, and actually it prints what you have asked for. In our case, we want to ask Alexa, what is my username? Alexa, ask Kentico admin, what is my username? Great, it recognized me. The next voice command we will create is a bit more complex command, as we will try to create a new user. When you want to create a new user, you want some input from user, such as you want the name of the new user, username, email, and so on. And creating a simple voice command with basic response, as mentioned here, is not enough. So we need some type of advanced processing. Advanced processing is made with a C# class, not too complex, and everything it does, it just stores some state in the response and generates a response based on state. Also, it stores the user input to the Alexa dialog state or Google dialog state. So the command is I want to create a new user. So create a new user. Save. The command is created and we can try to test it. I will also open the users application. And as we can see, we only have administration and public user, which is default. So let's try our new command. As we are already in the application, we do not need to say Alexa, ask Kentico admin once again, because we are still in the context of the voice application. So I want to create a new user. Test user. Yes. Yes. Test user at domain.com. Yeah. It seems that everything is correct and I can confirm and create a new user. So I just say, yes, please. Okay, let's check our users. And we can see our new user that was created a while ago. Great. The next scenario is what is the last error? This is something that can be done as a C# class, which is, I think, better to do. But I wanted to show you the possibilities of Kentico macro expressions and show you that you can do really a lot with just macro expressions, and you do not need to recompile your solution, publish the application to the production again. So I think there are still scenarios where you will prefer the macro engine over the C# class. I've prepared a voice command for that. It looks quite scary, but there is nothing complex. So the input command is what is the last error. And we simply paste this into the output speech. I will explain. Here we open the macro expression. Then we retrieve the latest event log item where event type is E. E stands for error. And we take the last item. If the last error does not exist, we just return there are no errors in the event log, and this is the state you want to hear all the time. If there is some last error, we will respond that the most recent error occurred, and then we have some mathematic failing so that it does not include decimal numbers after the dot, and we do not need to hear zero hours. So we will calculate the time between the current time and the time of error and just write the number of hours between those two events. We also can provide some additional information such as event code and event source. Let's save it. Go back. I think we can test it now. Okay. What is the last error? Great. It is an example of some useful information you can retrieve basically immediately from your car, from anywhere, and you know what is happening with your experience instance. I have prepared another scenario as Kentico Experience is a DXP, digital experience platform. We want to leverage all possible features that are available, such as e-commerce, online marketing, social marketing, and so on. And for example, something that you cannot do easily with voice, but you can do easily with Kevin, is creating a new post on Twitter. So let's create a new voice command for creating a new post, basically a new tweet. Create a new post on Twitter. It also has to be an advanced voice command with custom handler. because we are working with user input. And as you can see, I've already prepared a create new tweet voice command handler. We can save it, go back, and let's test it out. Create a new post on Twitter. Kevin is the best. Okay, it recognizes the message correctly and we can publish it. Yes. Here is my Twitter account. As you can see, I have only one tweet, which I was testing the same feature. If I refresh this page, we can see that we now have 2 tweets, and here is our latest tweet that was created 18 seconds ago. Okay, so here are the examples how you can leverage the different possibilities the Kentico experience as a platform provides to you. And the other feature that is within Kevin and that is within the Kentico experience is localization. I have prepared a voice command that answers a simple question: do you speak English if it is in English, or the same hablas español, which basically translates to do you speak Spanish, and the output speech is sí. To translate a voice command, I can show it on the current command. You just click on an input field, and there is a plus icon, which means to edit the localization. We can open it, and there is a simple interface for managing the translation of your voice commands. So here is the request, and here is the response. In English is yes, in Spanish is sí. We can switch our language in Alexa Simulator. The user does it by simply having Alexa installed in Spanish. So we can simulate that. And let's ask Alexa, abre Kentico admin, hablas español. I hope my Spanish is not too bad. Okay, it responded. With C, it means that it correctly translated our voice command to Spanish. So here are all the examples how you can leverage the features of Kevin and improve your user experience by voice commands. Let's go back to slides. Speaking of benefits Kevin brings to you, one of the most important benefits from what we think is the accessibility. It means that users with disabilities can now easily manage the Kentico experience administration, and it provides a much more convenient way to manage than different screen readers, basically what users had before. The next advantage is that voice commands actually can boost your productivity. Imagine that you are working on some email and you need to do a side job. For example, I don't know, clear cache, and it is important to do. And what you had to do before is that you had to open a new tab, go to System, Settings, and clear cache, which means that you switch your screen entirely. You lose the context of what you have been doing before. And with Kevin and the voice interface, you can simply talk to your voice assistant. It will do the job for you, and you do not have to lose your focus on the current task. Another benefit of Kevin is the simplicity. As you have seen, creating voice commands is easy. The changes are propagated immediately, and you do not have to, as opposite to the voice applications for Alexa or voice applications for Google Assistant, you do not have to go through the approval process. Basically, they review your application if everything is correctly configured. We have already done this approval for you. So you simply just create voice commands and you are ready to use your voice interface. Now let's talk how it actually works. There are four different parts, but all are important of how it actually works together. The first, and maybe the most important, as you are working and provide access to the administration interface, you do not want someone unauthorized to access your administration. This means you have to link your account to your administrator account. And this is done simply by clicking on a button and going through the login with Amazon or login with Google. And after that process, your account is linked. Next, what Kevin is doing specifically for the purpose of voice command is that we always capture the whole input user speaks. This means that if user speaks a long sentence, we capture a long sentence, and then we try to find a best matching voice command to comply with this input. And to do so, we are using the smart search. We actually wanted Kevin to be as much easiest to set up as possible. And smart search is a feature that is available out of the box. This means that you do not have to install or create some artificial intelligence services for speech recognition or voice command matching on the cloud. You simply use features that are available out of the box, and you're ready to go immediately after the installation of the Kevin. And the last thing you could see actually when we were creating a user is a dialog context. We do store the current voice command, and we do store the input, what user actually says. This helps us to navigate the progress of the user within a dialog. And that's basically it. Here you can see that if you go to Smart Search application and look at the local indexes, there will be multiple indexes for voice interface. Those are voice command indexes, and they are configured to be as much friendly to your input. This means some typos from incorrect speech recognition and so on. They are ignored and the search is friendly for you. There is a separate voice command index for every translation. So you can test how the system would process your voice command, how it detects voice command by going to this smart search index and clicking on a search preview. For example, here I have a screenshot of how smart search evaluates a create a new user command and how it prioritizes it against all other commands available in a Kentico experience. So as we can see, the create a new user has a 100% match, and it will be picked for the response. Now, the important information about the release of Kevin. There are 3 things that you want to know. When it will be available, where can I download it, and what is the pricing? And here are the answers. Kevin will be available shortly after the release of Experience 13. I expect it to be around 1 week. And you can download Kevin and install it either in Kentico Experience Marketplace, or you can install it as a NuGet package. And pricing, it will be completely free. So I hope you have learned something new. I am still open to your answers, and if you have, I'm still open to your questions, sorry. And if you have any, I would be glad to answer them on my Twitter, so catch me up there. Thank you for your attention, stay safe, and bye-bye.